How are you everyone, and welcome to Snack English. Today's lesson is the 10th one in the series of vocabulary workshop. The 10th one. This means 100 words, 100 academic words. The greater number of words you have, the more you can interpret ideas from others and express your own ideas too. Having a rich vocabulary will help you communicate in a more engaging way. In today's lesson, you are going to learn 10 new words and some of their synonyms. They are beneficial for IELTS, TOEFL, SAT, ACT, writing, and speaking. Let's bring them in.
I have a little addendum to the answer, but
Which means I have a little addition to the answer. I want to add more words to the answer. The first word is addendum. It's pronounced addendum, addendum. The stress is on the second syllable, addendum. It's a singular noun. The plural is addenda, addenda. It means something that has been added to a book, speech, or document. I have a little addendum to the answer. I have an additional sentence or part to the answer. I have additional words to the answer.
I will say, as an addendum, and it's a very important addendum.
I will say as an additional word, and it's a very important speech or part.
My feminist friends were aghast. Why are you oppressing yourself?
Which means my feminist friends fell with fear. They were horrified. Number two, aghast. Aghast. It's pronounced aghast. The stress is on the second syllable, aghast. Aghast. It's an adjective. If you are aghast, you are filled with horror and surprise. Watch this video.
But as I sat there, terrified, aghast at what I saw, terrified, aghast at what I saw.
Which means, but I sat there, terrified, horrified at what I saw. Some synonyms, such as very shocked, very anxious, horrified. Another example, people were aghast at the senseless brutality of the crime, which means people were horrified because of the senseless brutality.
He's aghast at beggars on the street. He's aghast at beggars on the street.
So you'll have ample time to ask him questions, and then we'll have a signing in the back. So you'll have ample time to ask him questions, and then we'll have a signing in the back.
Which means, so you'll have enough time to ask some questions. Number three, ample. Ample. Ample is an adjective. It means more than enough, sufficient, or considerable. You may have ample opportunity. You may have great and considerable opportunity.
They have already had ample opportunity. They have already had ample opportunity to.
You may have ample time. You may have enough time.
Giving it ample time to evolve so it can continue using our bodies as a host.
You may have ample food and drinks. You may have enough or sufficient food. You may have ample money. This means you may have enough and sufficient money. For example, without ample money, you cannot afford your new car's monthly payments. Which means without enough or sufficient money, you cannot afford your new car's monthly payments. An example, because the house has an ample amount of space, it will be perfect for our large family. Which means because the house has big space, large space, it will be perfect for our large family.
It's a thing called apparition. It allows us to connect the living with the dead.
Number four, apparition. Apparition. It's a noun. It means the spirit of a dead person appearing in the form that can be seen. In other words, a ghost or ghostly figure of a person. It's a phantom. For example, on a foggy night, the crew thought they saw the apparition of their lost colleague, which means on a foggy night, the crew thought they saw the ghost of their lost colleague. They saw a ghostly figure of a person or of their lost colleague.
Trouble is, that can often make the messenger apparition even more terrifying. Trouble is, that can often make the messenger apparition even more terrifying.
All three, you need to be able to assert your best position.
In this example, it means maintain or defend. You need to be able to assert your best position. You need to be able to maintain or defend your best position. It might have another meaning. Watch this video.
We will assert that power and we will remain a Pacific power.
In this example, it means affirm or avow. For example, he says, we will assert that power, which means we will affirm that power, we will avow that power, we will declare that power. Another example, the lawyer will assert his client's innocence despite the overwhelming evidence against him, which means the lawyer will affirm and declare his client's innocence despite the overwhelming evidence against him.
I think I can assert that we did this in one state. I think I can assert that we did this in one state.
You're not going to cower in the corner and not go to school. You're not going to cower in the corner and not go to school.
This example, you are not going to bend forward or downward in the corner and not to go to school. Cower, cower. Cower is a verb. If you cower, you bend forward or downward because you are very frightened. Example, the champion boxer wouldn't cower from a fight even though his shoulder was injured. The champion boxer wouldn't shrink or move back from a fight because his shoulder was injured. No, of course, he wanted to win the competition. That's why he wouldn't cower. He wouldn't get frightened.
We were trained to dodge, to wait, to cower and cover, to wait, more, still, wait.
I cower to my own negativity all too easily, and I know that I'm not alone.
Number 7, disdain. It's pronounced disdain, disdain. The stress is on the second syllable. It might be used as a verb or noun. If you have disdain, you have a feeling of not liking or hating someone or something. It might be because they don't deserve your interest or respect. Have a look at this example.
Our disdain for drugs and drug users goes very deep. Our disdain for drugs and drug users goes very deep.
Which means our disliking or contempt or hatred for drugs and drug users goes very deep. As a verb, to disdain someone or something is to dislike or hate them. Watch this video.
And so we teach children to disdain anger in girls and women. And so we teach children to disdain anger in girls and women. And
so we teach children to hate or dislike anger in girls and women. Some synonyms such as contempt, scorn, reject.
But when our leaders express a disdain for facts,
Number 8, epitaph. It's pronounced epitaph, epitaph. It's a noun. It means a short statement written on a tomb or gravestone. Watch this video.
That is his epitaph, and it was his epitaph before he died. That is his epitaph, and it was his epitaph before he died.
Let me give you a clear example. My neighbor's epitaph stated his name, but made no mention of his date of birth or death. Which means the short statement written on my neighbor's did not mention his date of birth and death.
Our generation does not want its epitaph to read, "We kept charity overhead low."
Number 9, ethical. Ethical. It's pronounced ethical, ethical. It's an adjective. It means having to do with morals, values, right and wrong. Let me give you a clear example. My friend was known for being ethical in all of his dealings, which made him easy to trust. Which means my friend was known for having moral perspective, moral dealings, which made him easy to trust.
What we consider fair or ethical,
which means what we would consider fair or moral. Some synonyms such as upright, moral, virtuous, honorable, or acceptable. Number 10, facetious. It's pronounced facetious, facetious. It's an adjective. It means not serious about a serious subject in an attempt to be funny or to appear clever. If you say that someone is being facetious, you are criticizing them because they are making funny remarks or humorous remarks or saying things that they don't mean in a situation. They must be serious in a way when you speak about an important issue.
I promise I'm not trying to be facetious or sarcastic. I promise I'm not trying to be facetious or sarcastic.
I promise I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic. Some synonyms such as humorous, comical, witty. An example, Michael is a facetious person who never takes anything seriously.
I'm not being facetious. It's a legitimate disagreement. I'm not being facetious. It's a legitimate disagreement.
Thank you for watching. I hope you had a good listen. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you are a new visitor.